Hmm. Okay, everybody, this is Taylor Sharp, and welcome to July 9th, 2022, the Apple Corps of Dallas, our Super Saturday meeting. I'm Taylor Sharp, stepping in as MC for Richard, who's out of town on vacation. And we're excited to have all of you here. And today we have a special presentation from a good friend, Lawrence Jenkins, who's going to tell us all, get us all good and smart on our Macs in videos and storage and all those good things. Lawrence is a longtime friend. I used to wrangle his arm into helping me do FileMaker stuff. I still do that stuff, and he travels all around the world on ships and things, and I'm sure he'll have some fun stories to tell it. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over, Richard. I'm looking forward to learning more here. So Richard, excuse me, not Richard, Lawrence Jenkins.
Lawrence. How you doing?
Good.
Morning, Lawrence. Okay, so basically what I'm going to talk about is Luma Fusion and give you also a little bit about Synology Photo, which is where I store everything that I do. And so I'll tell you the reason I do that. But Luma Fusion is my substitute. I went out and I spent a lot of money on a thing called, what the heck is that thing? Final Cut Pro. And it's so complicated and it's so expensive that it's really, I wish I could resell it to somebody, but I can't. But every time you use it, you got to learn it all over again. So I happen to be looking for something else, and I ran into this product called Luma Fusion. And I've been taking cruises and going on trips that were more than, like 14 days or 10 days, 22 days. And I wanted something that I could actually do some not development, but editing on my iPad. So everybody was raving about this thing called Luma Fusion. And that's when I picked it up. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to share my screen. And when I share my screen, I'm going to let you know about Luma Fusion maybe. And Luma Fusion, and what we were just talking about is Luma Fusion does not have a subscription. You pay for it once. That's number one. Number two, it's $39. That's great. And it runs on your iPhone and iPad. To my surprise, they announced that it also runs on, and this is what I'm going to be doing a demo on, it also runs on your M1 product. I have an M1 Mini, so it runs on my M1 Mini also, okay? One of the reasons why I kind of took a look at it too is that when Apple had their presentation that they did for upgrading to the M1 iPad and the M1 Air, they used that program as a demonstration on how powerful their iPad was. Now keep in mind, if they say you need an iPad, powerful iPad, it's my year to buy a new iPad, but my old iPad that I use now as my daily driver is Gen 3. So it is almost 4 years old. It's close to it, maybe 4 years old that I'm using. And I can do 4K movies on it. So it is and everybody's complaining they want to have Final Cut Pro on their iPad, and I can get Luma Fusion on the phone. I could probably do 5K on Luma Fusion on my iPad, but Apple doesn't support it. And all of these people, you can recognize these symbols of what they got accolades from, best product on Video Maker and those type of things. One of the things that's so nice about this product is that you get 6 video layers or tracks that you can have and audio tracks. And then on top of that, you can add 6 additional audio tracks onto that. And I'll run through that real quick and show you that. The other thing is it has a magnetic timeline that you can cut it. And then once you cut that magnetic timeline, you can take it to the end and click it back on something else. You have headers, you can lock your headers, you can mute tracks, you can tag tracks. You can go at certain places and put tags and have that. You can use an external monitor, and that's great. And you know how, well, they're going to fix that in the next version of iOS, but with this, you don't have those black borders. It takes up the whole monitor when it does that. It also, you can put notes on your timeline, cut and paste between projects, and I'll show you about the projects. We'll go through that. It's very versatile. You can turn it landscape, you can turn it the other way, and to get more information. Again, I like it because you have full editing capabilities on your iPad. And you can have full editing capabilities on your phone, but it's just too small for me. And, you know, maybe other people who are a lot younger than me could probably do it on their iPhone. You have audio, graphical EQ for making changes to it. You have keyframes. You can have different levels. A lot of those I haven't, and it has a host of third-party plugins, okay? Stabilization, you can import in from any of your devices. You can do it from a hard drive. You can do it from let's say your camera has a SD card. You can go in from your SD card. And the good thing about it is you can hook up your hard drive and actually on your iPad and do your editing on your hard drive. So if you're going out and you're doing a 45-minute play, or maybe you're going to Hawaii and they're doing a festival and you want to tape the whole thing, and it takes up, and it's 4K, and it takes up 3 gig of storage. You don't have to transfer that over. What you can do is work on it right on your hard drive, okay? And keep it there. As you go through you're going to be gone 90 days. It'll be great for you to take and load onto your hard drive 90 days worth of stuff, because it's going to be hard to keep that much stuff on a drive. Now, so those are the things. It also works with USB-C. You can also use Frame.io. You can use SanDisk. They have royalty-free music. We'll talk about that, but there is a cost, and I'll talk about that. You also get to use metadata. I talked about the tags that you can have at different places in your timeline, notes. And then there is where I store everything, and we'll talk about that. We'll run through that. But I use it, and we're going to talk about it from a personal. Taylor use it from a business side, and there's a difference. I don't know how easy it is on the business side, because it does a lot more on the business side, but on the personal side, I'm going to show you it's quite easy to use on the personal side. Things like you don't have to have a fixed IP address, because you can use a thing called Quick Connect, and we'll talk about that. All right, so without any further ado, let's go into the product. Any questions so far? I guess not. I haven't showed it to you. Hang on, let me move these
Hear
over
me?
here. And let me bring up Fusion. Now, keep in mind, I guess it needs to be over. Keep in mind, I am bringing it up but it works on my Mac, but it works exactly the same way that it works on my iPad. The same thing. When I first moved it over to the Mac, there were some slight differences. There wasn't differences, slight things that didn't work. They since upgraded it, and now it works exactly the same on everything. So first off, things that happen with me on Final Cut Pro is I'll go to sleep, I wake up a couple of days later, and I want to know, I forgot what this button was for. So what's so nice about this is that if you can see this, if I press down and hold the help button, every label is shown. Does everybody see that? So it lets me know what different labels that I have just in case I forget. So that's great. Again, I don't have to go to a menu. Okay, what does this button do? What does that button do?
We're not seeing anything except your face. Are you showing us something?
You don't see it?
I don't.
Does anybody else see it? Give me a thumbs up.
I
if you
see it.
Yes, I did, Lawrence.
Do you see it,
Wait a
Taylor?
minute.
I see it.
I see both the screen and then you on the side of it. You may have to change your view options.
Okay,
Ray.
let's see.
Standard view seems to work.
Yep, it works here.
Is it working now?
Yep.
Well, what am I not doing?
Up in
Where do
the
I change it?
right, upper right-hand corner, view.
Yeah, I do. I'm on the side-by-side speaker, but anyway, under view.
Oh, okay. I
Under
got
view, it says,
I'm sorry.
You got me now?
Now, Lawrence, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so once again, real important is if I hold down the question mark, which is the help screen, I get all of these different all of these different tags on every button. So if I happen to forget it, then I automatically will know what's going on. You can release it again. You can sleep a couple of days and forget that. Now, one of the most important things that you start out with is first thing you need to do is import something, right? So the good news about, I'll move this over a little bit. This here allows you to do whatever you need to do for if you want to go and get photos from the photo library, which is Apple's photo library, and you click it, what you'll see is everything from the photo library right there. And it also allows you to break that down into photo library. You can come back here. I'm on all. I can also say all I want to see is videos. And now I have all of my videos that I have in photos. I also have those up in my Luma too. Not my Luma, but my storage, my NAS. You can import this. The other thing is that you can also download it, and I did this first off, is I can download it to a folder. And you can go in, once you download it to a folder, you can go in and say, what I'd like to do is find a folder, and I can link to that folder. And once I link to that folder, then from then on, that folder is where you could put everything and it'll go look for your movies or your pictures, okay? Very nice. Again, one of the things I did is I did a dog, and it doesn't show up because there's only one of these. This will be good. I can show that, but there's only one of these. The rest of these are 3D movies. So that's why the dog was not as great. Now, the next thing that's really nice about this is importing. Now I can import it from Dropbox, the Finder, and other apps, if you have other apps that actually have that. And then you can go to a share folder and use your share folder. Now, this Finder allows you to switch to other ones. If you link it to the folder that I showed you before and have a linked folder, that means every time you bring up Luma Fusion, it's always going to be pointed to that folder, so you don't have to go searching, okay? The next thing is Storyboard, which is now, remember I said there's no subscriptions, right? There's no, and you get, updates for a year after you get that. If there's an update, there's a big update coming in a couple of months, and they've already let us know that it's going to be free. Huge update. But you also want to have the ability to, you may want to have the ability to have external film clips, music, sound effects, audio collections, all of those. And that's $65 a year if you want to use that. If you don't want to use it, you want to go get the clips off of the internet, you can. So for instance, if I want to do footage and I want to do something like airline and hit it, now I have footage of an airplane, taking off. And it says storyboard, and you get to see this and you drop it down to storyboard. It says storyboard or story block, I guess that is. But what happens with this is as soon as I drop it down, then what happens is that'll go away and I don't have to use it. Hang on. One of the things that I'd like to get is it works better for me if I use also a pad. I just linked up my pad. You don't have to worry about that if you're working on your iPad. This is, by the way, this footage is from my son's graduation from UTA. So, all right. So if I decide to click on this, I can bring this down. I can bring it down, or I can just bring it down this way. Click it, and now I have that, and now I can use that. Well, I'm supposed to be able to use that. Hang on, took a little while, and now I've got that brought in. So that works out very well when it comes to that. Again, it's $65, but you have thousands of clips of everything that you absolutely wanna have, right? If we go back a step and go back to storyboard, there's also backgrounds, tons of backgrounds that you want to have. And you can put the backgrounds in front, on top of it, and that type of thing. If you want to have music, you can have music. So like say, I want to do jazz music. It'll pull jazz up. I can take that music. And you can use those clips just as easy as dragging it down, and you have those clips. You can use the clips without anything. So so if I go back, those are the things that you can use. Very simple once you pay the money, but there are some free samples that you can use too. There's free music, free footage if you don't want to pay for it. Again, there's also sound effects. There's a sound effects. Let's see. There's sound effects of jets. So you heard in there, it says story block. It's story block. And that's the way they make sure that it'll be in the middle of your thing if you don't pay. But again, once you drop it down on your, and then here's collections of different things, creative, dark, and scary. And I haven't even looked at this, but here's what this is. Matter of fact, I don't even know if it shows anything. Evidently it's not. It's not. So that's how you put things in. You either import it from anywhere on your camera, from a SD card, a micro SD card, from your hard drive, from all that can be done on your iPad or on your computer the same way I'm doing it now. Any questions? Okay, so to get started on a project, all you have to do is click down here and decide that you want to do a project. So, okay, this project. And so if you go to new project, which is right here, well, maybe not right here, but I can't see very well. Okay, you would type in the project name, you would tell how you want your frame rate, your aspect rate, and then your color and spacing. Now, it also says in the directions that whatever clip that you bring in for the first time is the clip that it'll use that information that from that particular clip or that particular pad as a sample of what you're going to be using. So if you bring something in that's 40 or 30 frames per second, then that's what it's going to make at 30 frames per second. Okay. I'm going to go into here and get rid of this now. And I'm going to be back into here. So this is the timeline that's being brought in. This is the timeline. Certain things you can do. For instance, if I come down here, one of the things that I did not show you is titles. These are the titles that you can make. And this is what I did with this Jenkins Bahamas Vacation, I said. This is the title. I drug it down here. I can double click on here and it will take me over here and allow me to do different things to the title. I have all of these. Can you guys see this? Because I blocked part of it on mine. And I can go through, I can make changes. I can make it transparent, the title. I can put different shades and shapes that I want to use. If I want to put a different shape on it, I got a shape that I can use. I can take that. All of those things that I can do on this. I can make I can come down here and make it, maybe I can if I can get there. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. You can see me doing that. First let me get rid of this. Let's see if I can get rid of it. Maybe I can't get rid of it. Let me get rid of it this way. Okay, so if I click on this, you'll notice up here that I can change the title. I can put, and the title show up test, and it shows up the title. At this point, I can make it bigger or smaller or anything. So I can say done, come down here, change the colors. It's so easy to use. There's the colors. I can come down here and make it larger, smaller, scale it, not scale it. So it's very easy to use. Once you get finished, you just say, I'm done. And now you're back to the timeline, and there it is right there on the timeline. Very easy to use. Again, these are titles, and you can make up your own titles too. And you can save those to here where you want to have your title. Very easy to use, very straightforward. Transitions. Everybody knows about transitions. When you go from one scene to the other scene, it does a transition. And once it does that transition, you're basically, you can pick, let's say I want to do this transition. That's a transition that, and if I drop that down between a particular scene, which if I come over here, let me see if I have right here, I can put a transition right here. If I want to, I can put this transition. I can just drop this transition down. I'm covering up. Sorry, I'm covering up. Well, let's see, I'll put this here and I can drop down this transition. Let me grab it. Well, maybe I'll grab it. There it is. I'll grab it. And now I've got the transition in there. And if I go in and I want to make that go to this transition, I can click here. Oh, come on. There it goes. And I want to do the transition. You'll see the transition. So it puts the transitions. Again, you can make up your own transitions, just like if you want to, and that type of thing. No questions so far? Okay. Again, keep in mind with all of this technology, it's $29. I think it's $29. I say $39, but I think it's $29. But double check. It's on the Apple website store. So let me know. The other thing that we talked about is that you can separate the music from and have your own music. And this here takes in the tracks. So if you look on the side here where my cursor is, there are tracks that you can eliminate. So if I don't want to hear the music over here, I can either just say, and now it's dead, that music, and I don't have to hear the music. For instance, now if I go back this way and I start doing this, you don't hear any music because I did the track. Now, if I bring that back again, so I can control the track, but that's nice too. But then there's some people who really want to get in and manipulate that music, right? They want to get in and actually see and do some graphical things to the music. So if I double click on this, it brings up a graphical EQ, and you can do all kinds of things to shape your music, make the tones different, add gain, and all of these things that you can do, and you can see it as you work on it, okay? Again, it gives you a lot of level of the ability to go in and do this. Now, keep in mind, the other thing that I like about this product that's so good, I'm busy, I'm having a good time, I'm partying. I've taken pictures, I'm on a vacation. I can throw this in here, stitch it together, and then when I come back home, put it on my Mac and get sophisticated with it. But until then, I can just throw it on my iPad and show it to people, put some titles real quick, add some transitions, and I'm done. And then I can get back home and really do something, do things that I want to do. All right. Down here is the ability to stitch things together, edit things. For instance, if I really want to edit this particular clip, I have the ability to go in here and do editing. Now, these are filters, just like in any type of software that you would do editing for photos or anything else. You have filters, you have the ability to change, make things fit different ways. You have the ability to adjust left and right. You can size and portion. There's all kinds of things that you can do to this particular clip. And it allows you to go in and make those changes. Okay. So you have all this. You can delete a clip, of course. You can cut a clip. Let's say I want to insert something between this clip. I can just go here to the scissors, clip it, go over here and clip it. Go away. So now it's clipped. And if I want to, I can throw a transition into this, or I can throw another clip in here. So I can put a transition in here, or I can come up here and put go to the storyboard and put some kind of footage in there. I can do all that. And you don't have to take the footage and actually you can put it on top. And based on how you want that to happen, and you do have the ability, and now then you can go once that clip is over. So for instance, I want to take this clip, got to make sure you're on that. Oh, now it won't work, but make sure you're on that and only that, clip that, and then say delete. Go down to the garbage. It's gone. And so now, if I want just a little bit of that to be shown, it'll show that, and then immediately go back to the original clip at the bottom there. Of course, so if I start, let's go here. There you go. It'll immediately go back to the other clip when it gets through here. Now it goes back to the other clip. So you can put things in there, take things out, add music, and those type of things. You have a clipboard that you can use to take things off and move it to the end. If I want to move it to the end, I can go here, go to the clipboard, say cut this, go all the way to the end, go all the way to the end, and say paste. And now it's here at the end. So you have the full function of cut and paste that everybody pretty much knows how to use. The other thing that's really cool, now keep in mind, I'm working on a 38-inch screen, right? But when you're working on an iPad, you might have to adjust things, right? So now I can take this and adjust it this way. I can adjust this whole screen and make the video bigger, or I can come in and make more of the timelines, or I can make more of the storyboards that I want to look at. So I have the ability to move that. I'm telling you, this is a pretty powerful piece of software for $39 or $29. I can't remember what it is, but it's a pretty powerful piece of software that can run all of these things on that. Also, to help you out more than anything else that I didn't mention, they have a full tutorial. And if I come up here and click on the help, oh, and that's a good thing too. You can adjust different things with the settings here, preferences, and this type of things. You've got all of that. But if you go to help, you go to tutorial, and now I have a full tutorial, and there's tons, it goes all the way through tutorial. So there's a tutorial, and the tutorial goes from 1 to 34, if you see this. If you click on it, there's a nice gentleman there.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Luma Fusion video guide. I'm Father Joseph, and I'll be your host throughout this official training series. This series covers all aspects of using Luma Fusion, from starting up.
So you have the ability to listen to all of those before you go on your trip and get you ready to take to take movies or those type of things. And again, it's compatible with, if you have one of those fancy phones that's brand new that does ProMotion? It will do ProMotion too, or ProMotion also. So you have that ability to do that too, and it'll go over there. How am I doing in time? Okay. You also have the ability to change your layout down here. I can change the layout to here. I can change the layout over here. I can change the layout right here. So you have the ability not only to move everything around, but you also have the ability to change the format the way you want to change the format. You have the ability to change your timeline, to make it bigger, to make it smaller, to magnify so you can get to places a lot quicker. Any other questions?
No, just want you to know that mostly we have our computers muted. Therefore, you won't hear those who are talking without unmuting themselves.
Oh, so I don't hear the oohs and ahs. Okay.
Ooh.
Right.
So, okay.
Hey, Lawrence, is this, I took a quick look. It looks like it's available in the App Store.
Right.
Yeah.
It's 30.
Man, I'm impressed. I
It's
really
30.
am.
How
Yes.
much is it in the App Store?
It's $30. It's $29.99.
I have never seen a product this in-depth for $29.99, except when it's a subscription and you have to pay it every year.
Yeah.
This is a one-time subscription. If you don't want to use the storyboards.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't want to use the storyboards, you don't have to pay that. You can get your own, because some people just go out on the internet and bring in clips and
Well,
things like that.
you still have the storyboard. You just don't have the stuff to put on it without looking for it.
Absolutely. That's true. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I'm like you. I have wasted a lot of time and money on Final Cut and tried to master it, but, you know, bought tutorials, but I can't remember it from one time to the next.
Right, right. And the other thing is when I'm on vacation, 100% of the time, I won't say 99, but 100% of the time, I have my iPad with me, and my wife is that, I hate to say it, don't judge her, but my wife is the person that's sitting there with the iPad, taking movies and pictures, and people going, put it down, put it down. But anyway, she has been using an iPad and coming out with some beautiful movies and photos for years. I think when she got the first iPad, she started carrying it with her. I gave her a Mac, one of my old Macs, and she gave it back to me. So I think, and again, they say you can do plenty of editing through your iPad, through your phone. It works just as good. It'll do a 4K movie on phones and everything. I just can't visualize me doing editing on a phone, but they've got people who do professional things, and they wanted to have it. They take their iPhone out there, film, and do editing. Of course, they're all in their 30s and 20s, but anyway, that's beside the point. All right, now, once you have decided to put everything in your movies and everything, you got to get it out of the movies, right? It's time to get it out of Lumina. It's time to put it in something. So what you click on, everybody's used to this little up arrow that tells you to share stuff. So you click on here and you ask, what do you want to create? Do you want to create a movie? Do you want to create an audible only? or a aluminum project package. That's important too. The project packages is everything that you see that you've been working on. So let's say you've gone for a period of time and you took your iPad, right? And now what you want to do, you're back home, you got your 27-inch screen, and now you want to work at home. You make a package right here and take that package, you make the package, you copy that package over from your iPad, bring it onto your Mac, and boom. Oh, and by the way, since it works on M1s, you pay $29, and that's for everything. That's for your phone, that's for your iPad, and that's for your M1 Mac too. What a deal. So, and then you have, and I don't know how you do it because I'm not that technical, but there is M1, there's an XML package that you can use too. And then you also have the ability to do snapshots. Like I said, in another month, it's supposed to be another month because I was listening, they're coming out with a whole new upgrade that add a whole lot more stuff to it. So I want to do a movie. Where do you want to put that movie? Do you want to put that movie in photos? Do you want to put it in YouTube? Do you want to do it, in Vendo, or do you want to do it in, do you want to put it in a Finder? Or do you want to send it to Taylor and make him jealous because you went to the moon, right? And he just went to Montana and had beautiful scenery and everything. You can do that and drop it down, drop it in there, share it with people. Or you can add multiple other destinations if you use something else, okay? So once you put it in there, you click it in there. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, I just did it. And now it starts to, well, I just did it. I didn't want to put it. I want to make a movie. I want to put it on the Finder. I want to go to the change. I want to put it, it's going to be put on change to recommendation. I think also what I want to do is I have the ability to put it on the iPhone. I have the ability to make it 1080p. I can put it on a phone, or I can go basically 4K. Where is 4K? It's somewhere. Maybe I can't make it out of 4. Oh, there, 3K, 4K. There it is, 4K. There's your 4K. I can make it out of 4K. I usually do because I show it on the screen, and I don't and it takes, even though it's pretty fast. If I want to show it on my big screen and put it in the iPhoto, I usually put it in 1080p, and that's it. You hit it, you hit that. Once you hit that, you say, click on here, and it will do that little circle and put it in there, and then you go to the Finder and you get it. That's pretty as hard as it gets on that.
Lawrence?
Yes.
Can you, if you pay $30, is it put it on all 3 of your devices, or do you have to pay for each different device?
All 3, you put them on all 3 of your devices.
Thank you.
Now, but hey, here's the caveat to that. That third device, it's made for iOS.
Right.
So that third device, if it's a Mac, it has to be an M1 Mac.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, but other than that, they don't charge anything extra.
Thank you.
How is it actually sent through the internet? By email?
No, it links it automatically. If you're going to link it to YouTube, it knows how to link it. It'll click on YouTube, and then it'll ask you for your password and ID. You enter that in, and it'll automatically upload it to YouTube, Venti, or whatever. So you don't even have to know how to do that. All you got to know is your password and ID.
And another question is, if you just want to make slideshows, is this beneficial, or is it an overkill for slideshows?
It's really basically for movies. It will do photos, But again, it's usually meant to do photos where people will put a movie in there and then transition to several photos and then transition back into movies. Now, speaking of giving people, showing people this, the way I do that is I come out of Luma. I've created something in Luma Fusion. I put it either, I usually put it on a disk, and then I'm gonna get out of this. Let me think first. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of this. I didn't want to get out of so now the next thing I want to do is I want to come over to what I use to store and let people see the movies, and that is my Synology, my NAS, right? So if I go over here, I don't want to use this. I can't, I guess it really doesn't make any difference, but I usually use Chrome. All right, so if I go to, well, never mind. I guess I'd have to, let me go to Chrome. Let me go to this. So I'm going over here. It may be still up. Come on. Hang on. My Synology goes to sleep on me. It takes a little while to wake it up. Hang on. I guess I could tell it don't let it go to sleep. There it goes. I hear it. Okay. It goes to sleep. All right. So what's happening now? So what happens now is this is my Synology, I guess you could say, home page. Okay, my term home page. And what I use is a thing called Synology Photo. But the first thing you have to do is when you, and Apple's just now coming out with this, so they're a little bit ahead of their time. But if you go into here, when you set up your Synology, it'll ask you, you have the ability to set up your Synology where your pictures, movies, and everything are shared, right? Then you have the ability to set up your pictures as individuals too. So there are times when I want to take pictures, but I may not want to share them with my wife, or she makes pictures and she doesn't want to share it with me. And that includes documents and everything else. We can share documents, or we don't have to share documents. So I just keep that in mind. I want to just keep that in mind, that that's the way it's set up for this. So if I decide that I want to set up something, all I have to do is come over to this here, get my photos, okay? Once that's set up, well, maybe, come on. Now you want to, okay, hang on. I'm trying, with this in the way, hang on. I'm trying to, okay, I guess I'm not gonna do it. Let me go over to here. Let me get out of this. Now let me, there we go. I had it full screen, I didn't know it. Okay, all right. So so once I take it, bring this up, all I have to do, this here is shared space. So all I do, if it's a movie or anything like that, or pictures, all I have to do is drag it over here, drop it into there, and it will put it in the shared space. If I want to take it and drop it into my personal space, because I'm logged on, then I'll switch it over to personal space. Well, I did. I thought I switched it over personal space. And there's my personal space, okay? These are the pictures that belong to me and only me, okay? Now, I have the ability to go to albums, and the things that it doesn't do totally as well is something like Google, because nobody does it better than Google. But now Google charges you to store photos where they used to didn't. But there is the ability to do faces. So I can do faces, or if these are on my shared side of the photo of all the faces that I know. Then on the other way, I can go to places, and I do have the ability. Now, this shows you by name the places. Synology has a iOS version for your iPad and your phone. And those are, and it shows you just like it does, I think, on the photo app. It shows you a map, and on that map it shows you where the pictures are. So you have that ability with Synology on your iOS photos, but you don't have the ability. They haven't put it on here yet. That's going to be on an upgrade, I'm sure. So I pick out, let's say I want to talk about San Juan, Puerto Rico. So I can just click there, and now I'm in San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's all the places that I was in San Juan, Puerto Rico doing. Okay. So that it catalogs that for you from the metadata that comes in from the movies or the pictures. Because this is not,
question.
Yes.
Is your Synology a server?
Yes.
So you can access it wirelessly?
Yes, from anywhere in the world, as long as there's an internet connection.
That's great.
Well, wait, now that's not the key. That's not the greatest thing. The greatest thing is, okay, so let's go through this. Let's go through this. Really the key to this is so nice is, let's say I take this picture. And this, well, that's an ugly picture, but I don't care. This is demonstration. So let's just go Hershey chocolate. That's still an ugly picture. But anyway, that's not the point. So then you go to share. Now, when I go to share, when you set up your Synology, you have the ability to set up your Synology with a thing called quick access. When you're doing business like Taylor does, Taylor pays extra to get a static IP address that will never change. Right, Taylor? Yes. I don't want to pay for a static IP address because I'm not in business. This is a hobby. This is for fun. So my wife keeps a limit on me. So what I can do is set up a thing called Quick Connect, and it doesn't cost anything extra. You set it up, and then you send this particular link to anybody that you want to have the pictures or the movies or the pictures. And you can do that. You can create a folder, and that folder can have multiple pictures. So let's say I want a folder with pictures of San Juan, Puerto Rico. So then I can put it in a folder, call it San Juan, Puerto Rico, give it a date if I want to, and then go to that and bring up this screen, copy it, and send it to you, Ray, and you can look at it. And I can tell you, you can only look at it if you know the password. I can also give it to you and tell you, well, you can look at it, but I want it to expire because I don't want it to sit around where you can see it forever. So I say, I'll let it expire at the end on July 31st. And then July 31st, it'll go away. I can also
very much like Dropbox, I guess.
Yes, it's like Dropbox, but it's on your server at your house.
Yeah.
You can also take it and give a list of people that you only can use it. So therefore, even if you say, okay, I'm gonna give you a password, but just in case, this is really important. This is I don't know what this could be, but it's something I don't want anybody else to see but the group that went on the cruise with me, but I don't want anybody else to see this, right? So then I can list those people in the group, and they're the only ones that can view the photos. All right. So That's the beauty of this. And you don't have to have a static IP address. All you have to go to is link on this. I can go into anywhere in the world and type in Jenkins on this and go with this. Now, the other cool thing about this that's really cool is that I used to pay for a thing called Evernote, because Evernote has because on my work, I'm not at home. So I need to have access to all my important papers because I can't fly back home, go into my file cabinet and pick everything out. So over the years, I've put everything in Evernote so that I can do that, but it costs. Well, Synology has a Synology Notes, just like Evernote. And matter of fact, it will suck out because I was thinking, this is going to take me months to move all this crap that I got in Evernote over to Synology Notes. But they have a utility. You hit the button, boom, and everything comes out of Evernote and goes into Synology Notes. It's not as sophisticated as Evernote's, but it has the ability to do to-do lists, notes, all those type of things. It does basically everything that I needed to do for what I paid for.
How do you back up your Synology?
There's two ways to do it. You can do it by the cloud. I have a cloud. I don't use the cloud, but I have a cloud called iDrive. And iDrive has I use iDrive to back up my my computer into the cloud. But I have a drive that I stick in front of my Synology, and that drive will back my Synology up. But keep that in mind. That's really overkill for me, but it works because I have two drives in my Synology and they're mirrored. Okay. And
or you can have more drives and you can raid them multiple ways. And I've got RAID 6, so you can lose 2 drives and you still haven't lost any data.
And I have their RAID they give you all the RAIDs, but I have their RAID S something. And the thing about their RAID that's really nice that if I fill it, because I've already know I made a mistake. I got 2 small drives. I've got 4 terabyte drives. And I'm on the next drive I get, it'll be a 12. So when my 4 terabytes fill up, I just pull out that drive, put in a 12 terabyte drive. It copies everything over to that drive. I pull out the other 4 drive when it's finished copying and put another 12 terabyte drive in now. And now it copies over. Now I got a 12 terabyte, and I haven't missed a beat. And I just want to say I have to give kudos to Taylor because he's the one that suggested Synology. So, I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was kind of expensive, but now that I've got it, I won't do without it. And I found
basically, let me tell you where I ended up on Synology was for years and years, I ran a Apple server. And when Apple stopped making a server, I was looking for a user-friendly interface, a server that would be as friendly or as similar. It never is up to Apple standards, but I got this off the Apple forums. They said while it's not Apple standards, this is the closest that's out there right now as far as being configured with a GUI and all. And so it was from the Apple forums that I got from actually someone who worked at Apple was the one that suggested it.
And I found out something else that just the other day I wrote, and they instantly write me back almost. Within hours or at least in 24 hours, they write me back. One of the things I'm doing is I'm creating a website just for me. It's not going to be all that big, but it's going to be my website. Can I host a website? Well, normally you have to host a website, you have to have a static IP address. Again, I asked them, can I use my Quick Connect to use? And they wrote me, yeah, that's the beauty of Quick Connect. Now, all I have to do, if I have let's say the name of my company is Next Step in Computer, which it is, and I host it. I just tell the host people that my website is Lawrence Jenkins at Quick Connect, whatever. Put that there. When they type in www whatever, it brings it there. But that's different. So that's one of the good things about the Synology. Again, it's great for business, without a doubt. And Taylor's going to show you a lot of stuff about that. But it's equally as fun and it's equally as nice for just the everyday person that eats up a lot of space. And when you do 4K movies and you travel a lot, it's going to take a lot of space.
Interestingly, and I don't know why, I couldn't wait, Lawrence, so I swept over to the App Store, and Luma Fusion is grayed out. It doesn't show that it's available for download. I don't know why.
Hang on, let me
Everything
go.
else is, but Luma Fusion, it gives the preview and information about it, but there's no get button to click.
Oh, and I won't be able to see it either because of the fact that I already own it. So it'll just say open for me. Does anybody else see it? Is it grayed out for everybody else?
It's just a
Luma, Luma, then Fusion, right?
Luma and Infusion, right? One word.
Isn't the F for Fusion capitalized?
No. I have a page, but also, I don't see where you can click on and just buy it.
It may be they're getting ready to upgrade it or something, because that is Apple's favorite. That's one of Apple's favorite product. So
Well,
Maybe you click on the price.
I can get it on my iPhone, and it shows you have two Luma Fusions. The first one is an ad, and the second one is the real thing.
Oh.
yeah, now remember, I got Luma Fusion on my. Remember, you got to have an M1.
Oh, it says at the top of this ad, open the Mac App Store to buy it.
Right. And you got to have an M1. If you don't have an M1, it probably won't let you download it.
Exactly.
But I can't imagine you not having an M1.
Upgrade, everybody.
No. I'm talking about. His name just went out of my head.
Bernie?
Huh?
I figured it out, I guess.
Ray, thank you, Ray. I can't, like I said, I can't even imagine Ray not having an M1. Everybody, me, Taylor, everybody else may not have an M1, but Ray's gonna have an M1.
I have M1 too.
Yeah. So it'll definitely work. I can't think of anything cheaper. I can't think of anything easier that is so powerful. And they are Apple's #1 product when they demonstrate doing movies at the WWDC keynotes. That's what they use to demonstrate the power of their M1 chips.
Yep, you can buy it on the App Store.
Yep, it is fantastic product. And
that was a great presentation, and I had not heard of it. I'm really tickled. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Thank you.
No problem. I can't wait to go on my and what I'm going to do I'm going to buy. I'm can't hardly wait, but I'm going to wait until September. But I'm buying a new M1 iPad, and I'm going to go ahead and break it down and buy the 12.9 one. So I have a little bit more space when I'm on my vacations to do my editing.
Thank you very much. It's very good. Excellent.
All right, I'm going to give it back to you guys.
I have one more question.
That's no problem. I'll just give it back to you, and you can answer the question anyway. Go ahead.
I can't pronounce it right, but the Synology, is that part of Luma Fusion, or is that a separate program?
That's not even a
Mexican
program,
internet.
that's hardware, and it's separate. It's a hardware server, and it's separate.
It basically replaced the old Apple server where we used to be serve things up on Apple, and Apple quit making one. And so this was kind of the next best thing you could get after Apple exited the server market.
So it's hardware.
Yes,
It's hardware.
It's hardware. And I can, hang on one second. I'll show you the picture of it. This is the picture of it.
And it comes in a lot of different flavors depending on
Right.
how much money you want to spend.
This is the smallest business one. There's also a they have one that is a 22 without the plus or the 20. Anyway, Tim Baker. Tim Baker bought it. He got it. He hated it. So he went out and bought this because it wasn't fast enough. The chip wasn't fast enough, and he hated it. And so what he went and bought this one. So this is the smallest business size that they make, and then they go up. I'm sure Taylor has about 4 or 5 or 6 bays, right, Taylor?
Oh, of course, I got 6 bays.
Right. So he has.
But you can. I mean, Synology stuff, if you get into it, you can spend $100,000 on it. So there's, we're all at the very bottom end of their stuff, but still it works really great for even their bottom end stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you plan to take movies or pictures and you're going to run out of storage, you can have a bunch of SSDs if you want to, and stack them up and try to keep up with which one. Or you can buy a Synology, get a drive, stick it in there, and forget about it, and don't worry about it. And you have redundancy, and you have the ability to back up, and you have the ability to send it to anybody in the country. Now, Apple's going to bite into that thing because it allows you now to have private photos, shared photos, and you can always send people photos through Apple and do that, but it's still a little cumbersome. But to have everything and never worry about storage, and Apple asks you to pay for it each month. Once you buy this Synology, even though it's a cost up front, you're done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence. Really
Thanks,
good
Lawrence.
presentation.
Okay. Well, you guys have a good day. If there's no more questions, I will
Thank you, Lawrence.
let you go.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody.
A good
Thank you.
presentation.
Plan on being back here next month for Super Saturday. Shirley, do you know what our next month is? I forget.
Oh, I don't have it in front of me. Sorry.
Okay, well,
We'll
we'll
send
be back
emails
here
out to
as
everybody.
always, second Saturday of the month, 10 o'clock in the morning, and meeting virtually, and maybe someday we'll actually meet in person too, but we're working on that.
All right. Everybody take it easy and have a great holiday and stay cool.
Oh, no.